Have you ever considered that your greatest enemy might not be someone out there, but the voice inside your own head? The Buddha once said, "Your mind is your worst enemy." And while this may sound unsettling at first, it points to one of the most profound truths about human suffering and liberation. Our minds shape the way we see, feel, and respond to the world. Every joy, every sorrow, every challenge you face is interpreted through the lens of your mind. But when that lens is clouded by fear, anger, or confusion, our entire experience becomes distorted. The Buddha taught that while the mind has the power to bring us peace, it also has the power to destroy it. When we allow negative thoughts, fears, and illusions to control our actions, the mind becomes a trap, spinning stories, clinging to pain, and keeping us locked in cycles of suffering. The problem is not the world itself, but how our mind chooses to relate to it. If we're unaware of our thoughts, if we're constantly reacting without awareness, we become prisoners of our own mental patterns. The Buddha understood this deeply. That's why he didn't just diagnose the mind as a source of suffering. He also showed us how to free ourselves from it. By learning to observe the mind instead of obeying it, we take the first step toward true freedom.
The mind is a powerful force, yet it is rarely still. Like a wild monkey, it leaps from thought to thought, dragging us along with its restless energy. One moment we're reliving the past, the next we're lost in future worries. This constant motion keeps us disconnected from the present moment and traps us in a loop of anxiety, regret, and dissatisfaction. The Buddha compared the mind to a stormy ocean, turbulent, unpredictable, and difficult to navigate. Without training, we are tossed around by our own mental waves, unable to find solid ground. Think about how often your thoughts pull you into stories that aren't even real. Assumptions, fears, fantasies, what-ifs. We replay old conversations, worry about things that may never happen, or fixate on what we lack. This chaotic thinking creates emotional turmoil. It clouds our judgment, strains our relationships, and prevents us from experiencing the peace that's available right now. But here's the truth. The mind isn't the enemy because it thinks. It becomes the enemy when we believe every thought it creates. When we react impulsively, when we identify with every emotion, we surrender our inner freedom. The Buddha taught that, to reclaim peace, we must learn to witness the mind rather than be ruled by it. To break free, we don't need to silence the mind, but to see it clearly. With awareness, the restless monkey can become calm. The stormy ocean can become still. And in that stillness, we begin to rediscover who we truly are.
One of the greatest traps of the mind is attachment. The Buddha taught that our suffering arises not from what happens to us, but from our clinging to people, outcomes, possessions, and even our identities. We chase after what feels good and push away what feels painful, believing that if we can just hold on tightly enough, we'll find lasting happiness. But this is an illusion. Everything in life is impermanent. People change, circumstances shift, emotions come and go. And when we anchor our peace to things that constantly change, we are bound to suffer. Desire itself isn't the enemy, but our craving, our unwillingness to let go, creates inner conflict. We tell ourselves, "I'll be happy when," and live in a constant state of dissatisfaction. The more we want, the more we fear losing. The more we attach, the more we suffer when change inevitably arrives. This cycle of grasping and loss keeps us trapped in a prison of our own making. The Buddha's wisdom invites us to loosen our grip, not to give up on life, but to stop seeking fulfillment in what can never fully satisfy. Letting go doesn't mean indifference. It means choosing freedom over fear. It means caring deeply, but without clinging. True peace arises not when we have everything we want, but when we realize we already have everything we need within. Only when we release our attachments can we return to the present moment, where serenity, clarity, and true happiness patiently await.
Another subtle yet powerful way the mind becomes our enemy
is through the illusion of control. We spend much of our lives trying to manage every detail, our emotions, other people's behavior, outcomes of situations, as if control will protect us from discomfort. But the more we resist what is, the more we suffer. Life, by its nature, is fluid and unpredictable. The Buddha taught that clinging to control is like trying to hold back the ocean with your bare hands. It's not only impossible, it exhausts you. This illusion keeps us trapped in anxiety and frustration. We think, if only things would go my way, I could finally be at peace. But peace isn't found in the perfection of circumstances. It's found in our ability to accept what is. The more we grasp, the more life slips through our fingers. Control, in truth, is often a disguise for fear. The fear of change, the fear of uncertainty, the fear of letting go. But the Buddha showed another path. Instead of controlling the world, he taught us to master our inner world. Instead of resisting change, we learn to flow with it. Acceptance is not weakness, it's wisdom. When we surrender the need to control, something beautiful happens. Our mind softens, our heart opens, and we begin to experience life with presence, humility, and trust. Freedom doesn't come from dominating life. It comes from living in harmony with it. And in that surrender, we discover a peace that no external condition can ever give or take away. So, how do we break free from the mind's constant grasp? The restlessness, the craving, the illusion of control. The Buddha offered a profound yet simple answer: mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just a technique, it is a way of being. It is the practice of being fully present in this very moment, observing thoughts and emotions without judgment, without clinging, without running. Instead of reacting automatically to every mental impulse, we learn to witness our thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. Transient, impermanent, not who we truly are. Through mindfulness, we begin to recognize the difference between what happens and the stories our mind tells about what happens. We create space between stimulus and response, where wisdom can arise. This space is sacred. In it, we find choice. In it, we find freedom. One of the most powerful tools to cultivate mindfulness is meditation. When we sit in stillness, we meet the mind directly. We observe its chaos, its desires, its fears, and slowly, with patience, we tame it. The mind, once wild and unruly like a monkey, begins to soften, to settle, to listen. But mindfulness is not limited to the cushion. It is something we bring into every step, every breath, every interaction. Whether we are washing dishes or walking through a storm of emotions, mindfulness invites us to stay anchored in the now. Because only in this moment, this breath, is freedom possible. While mindfulness provides the foundation, the Buddha also gave us a complete path to transform the mind at its roots. The noble, Eightfold Path. This is not just a list of ethical guidelines. It's a map for inner liberation. It shows us how to align our thoughts, speech, actions, and awareness with wisdom and compassion. When followed with sincerity, each step on this path reshapes the mind from a source of suffering into a wellspring of peace. The path begins with right understanding, seeing life clearly, knowing that suffering exists and that it has causes. Then comes right intention, the commitment to act from compassion, not from greed or anger. Right speech and right action invite us to speak and behave in ways that reduce harm, cultivate truth, and build harmony. Right livelihood asks us to earn a living in a way that supports well-being, not exploitation. Then we arrive at the internal practices: right effort to guard and uplift the mind, right mindfulness to stay present, and right concentration, the deep states of meditative absorption where the mind becomes still, clear, and fully awake. Together, these 8 steps retrain the mind. They break the habits of clinging, reacting, judging, and fearing. They lead us gently but powerfully from confusion to clarity, from restlessness to stillness, from suffering to freedom. The Eightfold Path is not a rigid rulebook. It's a living, breathing journey that you walk with every choice you make, every moment you wake up to your life.
And so, if your world feels like it's falling apart, if you're standing in the rubble of what once was, remember this: you are not alone. And this is not the end. Every broken piece is not a failure, but an invitation. An invitation to see more clearly, to soften more deeply, to live more presently. The Buddha never said we would avoid the storms. He simply taught us how to walk through them with grace. Through acceptance, impermanence, letting go, mindfulness, and the Eightfold Path. We are not escaping suffering, we are transforming it. We are learning how to meet life as it is, not as we wish it to be. And in doing so, we discover a peace that doesn't depend on perfect conditions, but arises from deep within. So breathe, dear friend. If today feels heavy, let that be okay. You don't have to be perfect. You only have to be present. Keep walking, even if your steps are slow and trembling. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds with each gentle return to this moment. You are not broken. You are becoming. And every time your heart breaks, it opens a little wider to truth, to compassion, to the sacred mystery of being alive. May you walk this path in peace. May you rise from the ruins with more light than before. And may you never forget, you are not walking alone.
Ali on the path to enlightenment. If you found this video helpful and would like to learn more about Buddhist wisdom and mindfulness practices, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications by subscribing. You'll be the first to know when we release new videos that can help you transform your mind and live a more peaceful life. Thank you for watching, and may peace and wisdom guide you on your journey.